Let's go. So everybody has been, not everybody, but a lot of people have asked me to do some grammar with you. So I thought today that I would attack one of those points. I hope everybody can see the screen. As always, please let me know if there's any issue with the size of the text or the position. Hi, Alina. So, I picked two little quotes just to start off. They're both Japanese. One is, one who smiles, missing the S here, one who smiles rather than rages is always stronger. Hello, Manu. So I thought that was really powerful. And the other one I picked is kind of funny. A pearl to a pig. Hey, Manu, it's my Manu. Hey, I didn't realize it was you. Okay. Hi, Lena. So it means don't waste things on those who won't appreciate them. It's you. Okay. Hey, happy Sunday. I missed you last week. All right. So the topic for today is inversions. So I wrote down, don't panic. Okay. It is a source of panic for most people who are preparing the C1 exam. People do tend to freak out when the teacher mentions inversion. And I understand why, honestly. So we're going to start off nice and slow, step by step. Hey, me-matic guy. Hey, you asked for grammar? So here you go. This is for you. You're one of the people who asked for more grammar. So that's what I prepared today, okay? So what is an inversion? Okay, we're going to go step by step. Christmas is here. We're going to go step by step, right? So inversion is when we change the normal word order of a sentence. So basically, you have to do this with some of the words, okay? This is invert. So the normal position is the subject is here and the auxiliary is here. And inversion is when something happens in the sentence and we need to change the position of the subject and the auxiliary verb. So first of all, there's going to be a trigger. Something happens in the sentence and this triggers the fact that we now need to move the position of the subject and the auxiliary verb. Okay, so that's the first thing. Let's look at some examples. So example number 1, this is normal word order, okay? I have never encountered such blatant dishonesty. I have never encountered such blatant dishonesty, okay? Now we're going to invert this. Never is going to be our trigger. Okay, so the first step is we are going to move the position of never. Instead of having never after the auxiliary verb, we're going to move never to the beginning of the sentence, right? So it's going to be something like this. Does anybody know the answer? You can type. Very good, me-matic guy, very good. So never goes to the beginning of the sentence. Excellent, Monica, well done. Never goes to the beginning. And because we put never at the beginning, we now need to change the position of the subject and the auxiliary verb. Okay? Hello, Monita. So instead of being never I have, the never going at the front means it's like a domino effect. After never, we now need to change the position of I and have. So it's going to be never have I encountered such blatant dishonesty. Right? First example. Super. I hope you guys are with me. So the answer is never have I encountered such blatant dishonesty. Hello, Cole. Good evening. You haven't missed much. Example number 2. So normal word order, right? Can we see? Yes. So she rarely demonstrates such remarkable resilience. She rarely demonstrates such remarkable resilience. I'd like to notice here I've put the double R, okay? For your writing for C1, using an adjective that starts with the same letter as the noun. It's very nice. Okay. Yes, me, Madikai, and some other people have requested grammar, Cole, so we're focusing on grammar today. Inversions. Okay. Example 1. She rarely demonstrates such remarkable resilience. So guys, how would you invert that? Very good. Yeah. Okay. So the inversion is going to be rarely does she demonstrate such remarkable resilience. And you notice when we include here rarely does, we eliminate the S from demonstrate. Okay? Oh, you're very good. Okay. Is it okay, Cole? Can you see it? Because some people said that it was too small. I got a few messages saying the text was too small. It was too far to one side. Cole, will you let me know if you can see it well? The text is fine. It's bigger now. I made it bigger. Yes. Is it a different font? Yeah, I changed the font as well. It looks okay? Awesome. That's cool. Cora. Hello, Cora. Why we say such remarkable and not such a? Because resilience is uncountable, Cora. So we never put an article such as a or an before an uncountable noun. That's why. Okay? So, rarely does she demonstrate such remarkable resilience. Awesome. Hi, Amelia. That's so sweet. You're so cute. It's this one. I don't know, Amelia, are you from Spanish, from Spain? It's this one. It's from Mercadona. Yeah, it's really nice and it tends to stay on all day. That's awesome, Cora. I appreciate you too. You're from Poland. If you ever come to Spain, I recommend you go to Mercadona and get this one. This is like... Okay. We won't get distracted. We can speak about this later. So, example number 3. Normal word order. Demonstrate. I mean the same thing, I think. She displayed remarkable resilience. Yes. She showed remarkable resilience. Yes. That's awesome, Amelia. Mercadona it's good price quality. It's good. Right. Sorry. Mimatica is onto this one. Onto the next one. Example 3. We had hardly finished negotiating when they withdrew their offer. We had hardly finished negotiating when they withdrew their offer. Mimatica, very good. Well done. Super duper. Good job. Right, so we're going to start off. We put hardly at the beginning. Yes, Amelia, very good. Good, Felipe. Well done. Excellent, guys. Good job. Hardly had we finished negotiating when they withdrew their offer. Excellent. You got it. Hardly had we finished negotiating when they withdrew their offer. Brilliant, guys. Okay, next one. He has never displayed such unwavering determination. He has never displayed such... Hello, Antonio Munoz. He has never displayed such unwavering determination. I love that adjective, guys, for C1. Unwavering. Unwavering. You don't need the an, Cole. Very good. Good job, guys. Yeah. Never has he displayed such unwavering determination. Again, determination is an uncountable noun. We don't say a determination. It's uncountable, so we can't put the article. Okay, Cole? So, such unwavering determination, no an. Hello, Felipe. Also in inversion, do we put adverb of frequency at the beginning? Okay, really good question, Felipe. We'll get to that, okay? What does unwavering mean? Unwavering is like relentless. So this is waving, okay? It's moving from left, right. Unwavering is like it doesn't move. constant. No problem, Cole. Unwavering is like unbeatable. Not so much unbeatable. Unwavering is like constant. Something that doesn't move, doesn't change. Very constant, very consistent. Yeah, very strong will. Exactly. Never has he displayed such unwavering determination. Excellent. Next one. The committee rarely reaches a unanimous decision. Check out this adjective, guys. Love it. Unanimous. Amelia. Determination is uncountable like strength, information, or gossip, right? Exactly. Yeah. Hello, Pancha. Rarely does the committee reach. So the committee rarely reaches a unanimous decision. Rarely does the committee reach a unanimous decision. Excellent. Okay, super. Rarely does the committee reach a unanimous decision. Awesome, guys. Well done. Okay. Lot. I find it very difficult words. Which level is this, please? This is level C1, Lot. It's level C1. C1 plus. Okay? For people who want to do their C1 or C2 exam, or who are living in or working in native English environments. Okay? So, scientists had hardly begun the experiment when the equipment malfunctioned. You're welcome, Lot. Scientists had hardly begun the experiment when the equipment malfunctioned. Yeah. Hardly had scientists begun the experiment when the equipment malfunctioned. Awesome. Do let me know, Antonio. Let me know. Let us know. 7th of July, it's around the corner. Fingers crossed for you, okay? Next one. Sweet call. Okay. Hardly had the scientists begun the experiment when the equipment malfunctioned. Okay. Now, some of the lot, maybe this is useful for you. Some C1 vocabularies. I'm teaching grammar, but I also wanted to include C1 vocabulary. Cool. Right, here you go. Encounter, demonstrate, display, acknowledge. Hello, Rita. Underestimate, remarkable, unwavering, resilience, unanimous, blatant, compelling, substantial, unprecedented, negotiate, withdraw, an offer, underestimate, deteriorate, controversy. So these are words, if you can use them in your writing exam for C1, or if you can use them for in your speaking, you will get extra marks. Okay? Blatant. Blatant is obvious, and that the person was obviously and without remorse being offensive. Okay? So blatant disrespect. So you can disrespect someone intentionally or unintentionally. If you blatantly disrespect someone, you know that it's offensive, you know that you are disrespecting them, and you don't care. Okay? This is blatant disrespect. It's stronger than direct. Okay? A blatant lie. It's an obvious lie. I know I'm lying, and I don't care. I don't care that I'm lying, and I don't care that you know I'm lying. Yeah. I strongly recommend taking Cambridge English or any other language exams to anyone. It pays off. Good job, May. It does pay off. It does pay off, and it's a certificate for life, like any politician, exactly. A direct offence, Felipe, exactly. Blatant. They often say blatant disregard. So politicians have a blatant disregard for the welfare of the citizens. Okay? It's very obvious that they don't care. Not to get political. It was just an example. Okay. So the next question I wanted to break this because I know it's very complicated, and in the C1 exam they do tend to throw out very random examples. So in the sentence transformation, I mean, it is very difficult to get full marks in a sentence transformation with an inversion. So I want to break it down in parts. I will definitely not be able to cover everything today, but we'll do as much as we can. Okay, but I want to go in steps. So the next step that I want to look at is, we've got some questions. Depending of. Mi marica, from Spanish to English, we always say depends on. Depends on the tense. Present does, past tense did, so on. Yeah, that's correct. Amelia, what does unprecedented mean? It means like unexpected, not seen before. Precedent is something that you saw previously. Unprecedented is something you never saw before. Yeah. Okay. Good job, Felipe. Yeah, COVID presented some unprecedented times and challenges for the world. Unprecedented event, yes, like really unexpected, never seen before. Brilliant, good job. COVID wasn't an unprecedented event, it was. Well, yeah, it was in recent times, yeah. So, how do I know which auxiliary verb to use? How do I know which auxiliary verb to use? All right, so ask yourself one simple question. Does the original sentence already have an auxiliary verb? So this is easy. This is really easy. If the original sentence has an auxiliary verb, don't be shy, give it a try. I'm going to make a t-shirt with this logo on it. Okay, so if the answer is yes, then use that auxiliary verb. It's really easy. If the answer is yes, then you must use that auxiliary verb. Okay? If the answer is no, right, you do need do support. Okay? So let's look at some examples. Example 1. I have never encountered such blatant dishonesty. So here we have. It's really easy. The sentence already has an auxiliary verb. The main verb, the lexical, is encountered, and the auxiliary verb, the helping verb or secondary verb, is have. So in this case, I just need to take have. So I say, never have I encountered such blatant dishonesty. I change the subject with the auxiliary verb, never at the beginning, and I'm good. Okay? No new auxiliary is needed in this case. Now, example 2. It's like that game when they say, never have I ever. Yeah, it is like, never have I ever. Exactly. It's like, never have I ever. Okay? I'm going to make this note here. It's a really good one. Thank you, Cole. Remember the game. Never have I ever. Nice one. That's awesome. Okay? Encountered is the same as like find. Okay? Example 2, she rarely demonstrates such remarkable resilience. Now, we have a problem here because we have the lexical verb, we have the main verb, but there's no auxiliary. Felipe, is this topic similar to a cleft sentence or are they different? Yes, they are similar. Good job, Felipe. They are similar. Absolutely. Well done. Okay, does the sentence have an auxiliary verb? No, it doesn't. We only have demonstrates. Okay, we only have demonstrates. So demonstrates is a lexical or main verb. So in this case, in English, you know, we must create an auxiliary verb to help. This is something that is pretty unique to English. The question is, which one? Which one do we use? Which one do we use? First, look at the tense. Good job, Rita. Well done. Hello, Gabby. Not very often she would demonstrate such a remarkable resilience. Again, hello, Anik. Again, no A for remarkable resilience because resilience is uncountable. Okay, Anik? So you just say such remarkable resilience. Gabby, hello. Gabby, you can ask your question and I'll take a photo if it's not relevant to this topic and I'll address it at the end. Okay, so type your comment, your question in the chat, and we'll look at it after, okay? But which one? So first look at the tense, exactly. The sentence is in the present simple, as we saw. So present simple plus third person singular is does. That's it, Rita. Excellent. Good job. Well done. How are things in Italy? Everything's okay? Rarely does she demonstrate such remarkable resilience. So we put rarely at the beginning. This is our fronter. So it's rarely is going to the front. This is the word we want to emphasize. Demonstrate is here, but we eliminate the S. And then we need to include does and put it before the subject. Okay? My pronunciation is not good. I can't read fluently. What should I do? Okay, guys. Ta-da. I'm gonna take a photo of this and get back to you, okay? We'll do those questions at the end. All right? Cole is asking here, no? This one. She rarely demonstrates such remarkable resilience was the original question. Thanks, me, Madika. Really good idea. I will take a photo of this one also. Okay. Where am I? Okay. Now, notice something important. Once does appeared, demonstrate loses its S. Okay, once does appears, demonstrates, loses its S. Not rarely does she demonstrates. Correct? Rarely does she demonstrate. Is this type of sentence used in speaking way often or in everyday English? Yes, especially Felipe in storytelling. Especially in storytelling. Okay? Especially in storytelling when you want, and we do that a lot, especially in Ireland. For your essay, in each writing, you should use at least one, if not two, but at least one, Gabby. You should use an inversion at least once in both of your writings for C1. If you put does before she, is it not becoming a question? No, it isn't. This is one of the user BLV. This is one of the really complicated things in English. Right? No, it doesn't become a question. No. This is why it's so difficult. This is why it's included in the C1 course. Okay? Because the grammar you have learned before, but the meaning, what it transmits, is very difficult to master. You're so welcome, Felipe. It's a statement. It's a statement. It's not a question. No way. Okay? So, rarely does she demonstrate that. Okay, this is exactly the same rule as in question. So this is what user BLVC is saying. It's the same rule as in questions, but it is not a question. Okay, but it's the same rule as a question. Hey! Okay, that was cool. The adverb makes it not to be a question. Yeah, it does. The adverb means that it's not a question. So the question will be, does she demonstrate remarkable resilience? Right? So we steal the auxiliary verb that we would use if we wanted to make a question. This is a little bit of a cheat code, and it works with other grammar points as well. Okay? If you can't figure out the auxiliary verb, imagine creating a question, and it's going to be the same auxiliary verb. Okay. Hello, Pedro. Cheat code is like una trampa para recordarlo. No, it's like something that helps you. A hack. Thank you, mi Marikai. Thank you. Better. A hack. Awesome. Inversion. So, rarely does she demonstrate remarkable resilience. So, it's exactly the same grammar, okay, as a question, but it is not a question. Okay, just to clarify that point, we'll put it in red here. Okay, example 3. She rarely complained. Does the sentence already have an auxiliary verb? No. It's past simple. So how can we say this? They rarely complained. Good job, Rita. Well done. Good job. We can say, rarely did they complain. Rarely did they complain. Yeah, good job, me, Marika. Well done. Super. Okay. Not rarely. Yeah, and be careful as well. We don't say rarely did they complained. We need to eliminate the ed because now we've put did. Good job, Felipe. All right. Rarely did they complain. So the main verb returns to its base form. Complain. Knowing the past tense is right. Me, Marikai is raising a really good point here. If you don't know the past tense, you can't do this. This is exactly why inversion belongs in C1. We don't study inversion below C1 because the student needs to control the tenses very well. Otherwise, it's impossible to do inversions. Okay, so that's why it's part. It looks easy. If you don't know, it looks easy at first glance, but it's definitely not. Okay. Next one. Ta-da. So, I think there's a brilliant shortcut. Here we go. So, if you know how to make a question, you already know how to do an inversion. In theory. So again, the theory is easy because you already know this grammar, but at the same time, bringing this into your daily life is easier said than done, and reproducing it in an exam requires dedicated practice and a lot of repetition. Okay, is what I would say. Fully fluent in English, but I'm really enjoying this. Awesome, Kira. So, for example, statement, she demonstrates remarkable resilience. Question, does she demonstrate remarkable resilience? So we know that we need to use does. Inversion, rarely does she demonstrate remarkable resilience. Is the does mandatory in the second example? If it is not in the sentence, is it still correct? In this example, are you asking me here? I absolutely have to include does. If I put rarely at the beginning of the sentence, it's mandatory. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. So, statement, they complained. So we can see here we just have the lexical verb. Why do you use always, rarely, or what other options can be? Yes, there are more options, Pedro, but I'm going step by step because I want to break this down. There's a lot of information involved in these, like a lot. I spent today maybe 3 hours preparing this, and there's no way we will be able to cover everything today. But I want to go in steps, and I hope that people will understand. I don't want to mix everything together because I think people will get very lost. Okay. So complained. Here we can see we have no auxiliary verb, right? So if it was a question, we would say, did they complain? So this is the past simple. So the question in the past simple would be, did they complain? So now I know that the auxiliary verb I need to use is did. So the inversion is going to be, rarely did they complain. Rarely did they complain. Often did they complain, or yeah, always did they complain. Yeah, they complained, rarely did they, yeah, often did they complain, always did they complain, rarely did they complain. Yeah, I should probably have put this here. They rarely complained. Okay, but yeah, you could put in here any adverb. Frequently did they complain? Nice. Frequently did they complain? Yeah, right. You can use or E, Q, U, E, and frequently, always, often. Yeah, they're all okay. Statement, he has forgotten. He has forgotten. So the question would be, here I have the auxiliary verb, will be, has he forgotten? Has he forgotten? And the inversion would be, never has he forgotten. Never has he forgotten. Never has he forgotten. Okay. Statement, she was upset. Now this is a fun one. right? Because we can notice here we have an exception. An exceptional case, it's the verb to be. So we're going to speak about this today. So it's the adverb plus question without the question mark, right? Yeah, basically, actually, yes. Rita, you're totally correct. I should include this because I think it will help people. Yeah, note, right? Verb plus the question form without it being a question. Awesome. Yes, exactly. That's a really good way of putting it, a way that people will understand, I think, better, okay, than the complexity of the grammar books. Pedro, where can I use these inversions in your exam? If you're doing the C1 exam, you need to use these in your writings. 100%. You must use, well, you should use them in your writings. And if you can use it in your speaking, it will bump up your mark. And it could come up in part 4 of the use of English, in the sentence transformation. They often come up there. Maximum 1, and not always, but it will come up. Why if I don't use them? I mean, if you use grammar of equal standard, you might get away with it, Antonio, without using them. For Escuela Oficial de Idiomas, which is a Spanish language exam, you're obligated to use these. Otherwise, they will say they're absent for your exam. From your exam. Cambridge, you could potentially pass if you also have more high-level grammar in your writing. It's always level C1? No, you don't worry. I'm sure you put other grammar in, right? In your writing, you use conditionals, passive, reported speech. If you have enough of that, you'll be okay. Guys, stop. Cuenta quitada. I'm trying to do a bit of a live every day. It's normally around 4 o'clock or 7, it seems to be. But it depends on the day. Don't count yourself out, yes. I think you're okay, Antonio. Hey? So, next one, question. Has he forgotten? Inversion, never has he forgotten. Okay? Or she was upset. So, exception with the verb to be. So the question is, was she upset? So now the question is was the main verb or is it the auxiliary verb? This is the issue. Okay? This is the real issue. Was an auxiliary verb or is it the main verb? The crazy thing about the verb to be, it can actually be both. It's an exception. The verb to be can actually, good job, Rita. It can function as the main verb and the auxiliary verb. Okay, so it's really cool. Yes, Felipe, I prepare for Cambridge. I do. Okay. So never was she upset. Never was she upset. Not a conditional. Yeah, never was she. So this is a distinction that many grammar books gloss over, but I thought it was worth explaining clearly. Why? Why did I think this? Because you practice, and there are, like, once in a blue moon, not often, but if it comes up in your exam in part, hello Alessio, if it comes up in your exam in part 4, sentence transformation, the inversion, it could come up the verb to be. And it's sad when a student really, really prepares the inversions and then in the exam, the verb to be comes up and they make a mistake. So it's a very, very small possibility that this particular situation will come up, but it could come up. Okay? You can deduce it? Yeah. Okay. So this verb is very special in English, as we know. Okay. Sometimes it's the main verb. For example, she was upset, they are happy, I am ready. In these cases, be still behaves like an auxiliary for inversion and questions. So It does not need do support. This is where people make the mistake in the exam. This is where students make the mistake in the exam. Is that they try to put do in here with be. According to what do we choose? The adverbs. According to the adverb, well, if you're speaking to at work or something, you choose the adverb. If it's in an exam, they will give you the adverb and tell you to restructure the sentence. That's usually what happens. Yeah. So, special note, the verb to be. The verb to be is unique in English. Even when it is the main lexical verb, it behaves like an auxiliary verb when forming questions, negatives, and inversions. So we know this from like B1. You know this stuff, and you know this stuff. Everybody has studied this, but the inversions, it's funny, this comes up in C1. But it's the same thing. We're just adding this into the grammar that we already learned at school or in the academy or whatever. To be or not to be? That is the question. Hello, Daniel. Can you teach the phrasal verbs? I don't understand them. Hello, Alvin. Yeah, it should be taught in B1. You see, I think Mimadikai, I understand what you're saying because it's a big shock to spring something like this on people in C1. But I really think people who are level B1, I mean, maybe they could, probably, because it is quite a shock at C1 when you're presented with this. And I think people always feel that they can't understand it because now they learned all of the grammar before, and now what is this? It looks very familiar, but I keep making mistakes. Yeah, it's a good point. Maybe it should be taught earlier. Daniel, if you tell me the specific phrasal verb that you're referring to, I can explain it, but I'm not sure right now which phrasal verb you're talking about. Did I tell you that in the exam I wrote a proposal? Nice. And used back to square one. Good job, Antonio. Well done. Well done. Could I say, always am I getting happy when I go to movies using inversions? Always am I getting happy. I always get happy. But that always do I get happy? It would be always do I get happy, because the question would be, do I get happy when I go to see movies? Not am I getting happy when no, it would be do I get happy? Right? So it would be always do I get happy would be better. Thanks, Manu. Alvin, today is a slightly different life. Always do I get happy? Right? Present simple for repetitive actions. Yeah. Often do I get happy? Yeah. So next one. Moving on now. She was upset. Okay, Felipe. Cool. She was upset. Was she upset? Never was she upset. They are happy. Are they happy? Rarely are they happy. Right? Yeah, because the thing is here, Felipe, when you put in the get, it's a bit different because we say more like get better, get happy, more than getting happy, you know? But because it's a state, we use the present more. Good job, Mimadikai. Mimadikai, present simple, repetitive actions, and also for state verbs. And feelings, you know. The cheat code is more than enough. Awesome. Okay. Am I ready? Am I ready? Never am I ready. Okay? But if it was get ready, it would be never do I get ready. So I think that the trick in here is the get. So remember, the verb be remains the main verb in these sentences. It does not become an auxiliary. It simply behaves like one. Okay? Yeah. So statement, she was upset. Was she upset? Inversion, never was she upset. Not never did she be upset. So be careful with the verb to be. It's like Superman and has, this is what I said, it's like Superman and has two identities. Okay, so it's an exception. We only need to use the verb to be. We don't need to add an auxiliary verb because the verb to be can do both jobs. Like Batman, Superman, Batman, yeah, Spider-Man, all these guys, Clark Kent and Superman, yeah. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, so it's completely ungrammatical, this, but whatever. So compare that with an ordinary lexical verb. Statement: she demonstrated remarkable resilience. There is no auxiliary verb or be or to be. So did she demonstrate remarkable resilience? Rarely did she demonstrate remarkable resilience. So here the verb demonstrate cannot invert by itself. So English uses do support, right? Now, this leads us to a very useful note that very useful rule that you should make a note of. So rule number 1, if the sentence already contains an auxiliary verb, have, be, which is our exception, will, can, should, etc., simply invert it. For example, she has never complained. Never has she complained. They were never informed. Never were they informed. Okay, you've got your verb to be there. He can rarely attend. Rarely can he attend. Rule number 2. If the main verb is be, invert be. She was upset. Never was she upset. Never was she upset. The results were satisfactory. Rarely were the results satisfactory. I would like to include here, the results were rarely satisfactory. Rarely were the results satisfactory. Rule 3, if the sentence contains an ordinary lexical verb in the present simple or past simple, use do, does, or did. She demonstrates resilience. Rarely does she demonstrate resilience. They admitted their mistake. Rarely did they admit their mistake. They admitted their mistake, so they rarely admitted their, I'm going to change this, their mistakes. Rarely did they admit their mistakes. I prefer that. I actually think, rarely did they admit their mistakes. So, you can ask yourself one question. Can I make the sentence into a question without using do, did, or does? If the answer is yes, invert that verb. So for example, she was upset. Was she upset? Never was she upset. Has he finished? Or he has finished? Has he finished? Never has he finished. They can swim. Can they swim? Rarely can they swim. Okay? If the answer is no, you need a do support verb. She demonstrates resilience. Does she demonstrate resilience? Rarely does she demonstrate resilience. Okay? It's the first grammar lesson, isn't it? Yes, it is the first grammar lesson. Yes, it is. Okay? Thanks to you. Never tell me I don't listen, okay? So, yes. They complained. Did they complain? Rarely did they complain. So remember that this is something I think caused a lot of confusion. Remember, and I should put here, remember that as a C1 student, you already know question formation, and now you just need to connect this to inversions. Okay? Again, Vicky, how can I improve? Repetition a lot and try to use it. Cool, we can chat about this later, whatever you guys prefer. Maybe I'll take a picture of this question for the end. It's a good question. Okay, so which auxiliary verbs? This is the next step, and I know I'm going like in steps, but all of these things I felt were really important, and in my books, for example, they're not really elaborated on. And what happens when this isn't explained in steps, it's explained very briefly in the books. Students never master it. They keep making mistakes in small mistakes, and that leads to enormous frustration, especially when they want to do an exam. So the next point I want to cover is which auxiliary verbs can be used with inversions. So when a negative or limiting expression is moved to the beginning of a sentence, the auxiliary verb moves before the subject. So number one, obviously we can use forms of be. Slip-ups, yes they can, slip-ups. Okay. Use the verb be itself. So we've got am, is, are, was, were. All of these we can use as auxiliary verbs, and they can function as the main verb, as we spoke about before. For example, never was she upset, rarely are they available. Now this one, look, under no circumstances is this acceptable. Under no circumstances is this acceptable. Exception, even when be is the main lexical verb, it behaves like an auxiliary. It does not need do support. I know I'm repeating this again and again and again, but I really do think it's necessary. Okay. She was upset, never was she upset. Okay. Second auxiliary verb is have. Have, has, and had. Comes up a lot. For example, never have I encountered such behavior. Rarely has he apologized. Hardly had we arrived when the meeting began. Hardly had we arrived when the meeting began. Next one, right? So we've got verb to be, have, and the next option is modal verbs. Modal verbs. We've got can, could, may, might, must, shall, should, will, and would. All of these can work in inversions as the auxiliary verb. Okay? For example, rarely can we predict the outcome. Under no circumstances should you open the door. Only then would he admit his mistake. Never will I forget that day. It would be easier to just tell you the one that can't be used, to be honest. Yeah. Ought to. Felipe. No, because you can't use ought to in the past. But it's a really, really good question, Felipe. I'm going to look it up and I'm going to make absolutely sure, but I don't think so. Because you can't use ought to in the past. No, I don't think so. But I'm going to check. I'm going to double check. It's a really good question, Felipe. I'm going to double check if we can use ought to. Now, number 4, do support is a big one. If there is no auxiliary verb in the original sentence, use do, does, right? So do in the present simple, does present simple third person, or did in the past simple. Hey Pedro, yeah, we're just discussing this. I think that's the case, but I'm going to look it up. Examples, she rarely complains, rarely does she complain. They never admitted the truth, never did they omit the truth. I seldom make that mistake. Seldom do I make that mistake. Definition of seldom, almost never. You may need a new case. Yes, I may need a new case. I got a new screen recently and then I fell when I was running and I cracked it again. So, yeah, but I may need a new case. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, you guys are very observant. Okay, summary. So ask yourself these 3 questions, right? Is there already an auxiliary verb? If yes, inverted. Pedro, seldom means almost never. Ask yourself these questions. Is there already an auxiliary verb? If yes, invert it. Okay? She has finished, never has she finished. He can swim, rarely can he swim. Number 2, is the main verb to be? If yes, invert. Be. She was upset, never was she upset. Number 3, is there no auxiliary verb? If yes, use do, did, or does. You, does, or did. She works hard, rarely does she work hard. They complained, seldom did they complain. So, common mistakes. Yes, me Marikai. Seldom means almost never and rarely. Yeah, cool. Common mistakes, incorrect. So, never did she be upset. This is so common. Such, can you guys see what I'm writing? No. Such a common mistake. In general, okay? Such a common mistake. Both speaking and writing. So this is, and it's a pity because if a student spends a lot of time and puts a lot of effort into studying inversions, and then to make this mistake, you know, it's sad. So if you have be, you don't need to use did. Okay? I'm going to write that. If you have be, you do not need to add a did. Yeah, it's an exception. Rarely has she works late. Another one. Another typical mistake, the S. Okay? Rarely has she worked late. Never did he admitted it. We can't put the ed because now we have included did. Okay? Correct. Never was she upset. Rarely does she work late. Never did he admit it. Never was she upset. Hello, Javier. Yeah, never was she upset. Yeah. Has worked. Rita, what's your doubt there? Has worked? Maybe this one, no? Rarely does she work late. Okay. Many of them are grammar slip-ups. They are, Felipe. Many of them are grammar slip-ups. It's a slip. It's a slip. Okay. Cool. So now this is another light bulb moment. Okay. I hope when you've got the like ding ding going on here. So inversion, and again, sorry about the repetition, but I really do feel that it's necessary, judging on how confusing this is for students. And also, when I correct exams, this is just these are mistakes that people make over and over and over and over again. So this is why I'm really repeating this a lot. Inversion uses exactly the same auxiliary as the question. So what auxiliary should I use? You have to go back and think, what is the question? It should be the same auxiliary verb as your question, okay? The only difference is that you are not asking a question, okay? So it's not actually a question. This is confusing. Wait for the exercise. I actually think this is more difficult than conditionals, if you ask me. And I have found my students find this more difficult and they make more mistakes. I think so. I do think it's more difficult. Hello, Bartek. What's the best way of remembering words? I've been struggling lately not to forget posh words. Okay, I'm going to take a picture of this, Bartek, and I'm going to... Sorry to show you my phone again. It's a bit of an eyesore, isn't it? Bartek, it's a really good question, so I'm going to answer that at the end, okay? It's a really good one. The only difference is that you're not asking a question, yes. So, if you're going to remember one thing from this lesson, I'd make it this, right? Inversion uses question grammar, but statement punctuation. This is what I would say. You hope I get the new case soon. Yeah, me too. Nope. If you know how to do it with modal conditionals, just good basis. Yeah, Felipe, you do need a good base. It's true. Yeah, it's no way around it. You need a good base. Definitely, if you get to C1 and you don't have a strong foundation, the problems start appearing for sure. So, and just a note from me, like every student who reaches this level, right, already knows how to form questions. You are not learning a new grammatical mechanism. To make inversions, you are borrowing one that you already know. So, is this new grammar? I don't know. It kind of is, but it kind of isn't. You know this grammar. It looks easy and familiar, and that's why the subtle change of auxiliary verb and the subject, which is triggered by the fronting of a negative or limiting expression, is not easy to spot. Okay? So this is kind of the issue here. But yeah. So when you front a negative or limiting expression like rarely, hardly, never, when you bring those to the front, which is called fronting, then you have to remember that this triggers the inversion of the subject and the auxiliary verb. Okay? Hello, Javier. How can I explain this topic to my students? I mean, when do I use inversions? That's a really good question. I'm gonna answer that at the end, Javier, okay? It's a really good question. It'll just take me some time, so I'll try and get through it, and then I'll answer any questions at the end. Now, the next question is, why do we do this? Because essentially, the before and the after, the sentence is exactly the same. I'm not saying anything new, and it doesn't change the meaning at all. So why? Many students say, why do I have to learn this if I'm not saying anything different? I can just use the other way of saying it, okay? So I asked myself this, so why bother? So why am I going to stress myself out to learn this? Why bother inverting a sentence when you are essentially just saying the exact same thing? Okay? And I say, do you know, for me, I see it as a similar reason for one why we create passive sentences. Why do we passive is the same. There are different reasons for using the passive, but one of them is to emphasize information. So let's talk my favorite thing, the COVID vaccine. Okay, controversial topic. So everybody during COVID, we were looking for a vaccine, right? Everybody's searching for a vaccine. Now, imagine the sentence. Vicky Hayes, that's me, Vicky Hayes invented the COVID vaccine. In this order, what's more important, Vicky Hayes or the COVID vaccine? Well, in English, because you say Vicky Hayes at the beginning, you think, Vicky Hayes or Albert Einstein, because it's the first thing that you mention. So it's like got the spotlight on this. Obviously, in that case, honestly, nobody really cared who invented the vaccine as long as we got a vaccine. Okay? And it was company, so nobody even said Pfizer invented a vaccine for COVID, because even people didn't really care which company. They just wanted a vaccine. So they will say, we're going to change this around and say a COVID vaccine was invented. That's all. It's not important what person or what company is. A COVID vaccine was invented. So by creating a passive sentence, I'm able to get the important information to my listener faster. Okay? And also you understand the important part because it's at the beginning of the sentence. Okay? Yes, Monica, it emphasizes exactly, especially in writing. Absolutely. Monica has a really, really, really good point. Okay? In fact, I'm going to write that down, what she has said, because it's really, really smart. point. Look, if you are speaking, you can use your tone and speed to create emphasis. I love that, emphasis. But not if you are writing. So this structure creates emphasis when you can't use your voice. Or we can say when you can only use your pen and not, oh my God, and not your voice. Thank you, Monica. That's a really, really good one. Awesome. You got it, right? She's brilliant. Exactly what Monica said, guys. When you're speaking, you can use your tone. You can speak yes, like this, and you create emphasis. But when you're writing, you can't. So just what Monica said, this is another way with when you are writing that you can create emphasis. When you're writing, but also when you're speaking, if you read like this, like never have I, the minute you say never have I, your listener's ear is pricked because they, oh, she's going to tell me something that has never happened before. So this is unusual, special information, so I'm going to pay attention. Okay? Capital letters. Okay. At this point, you can... Oh my God, Cole, are you reading my notes or logged into my computer? Because I literally have a meme of pique my interest at the end of this. Okay? You're like, we have telepathy or something. Cole, I think you're my long lost twin. That's what I think. Or we were twins in another life or something. Okay, at this point, you can use capital letters. Okay. Me, Marika, you can use capital letters, yeah. Cole is a known hacker, didn't you know? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So, thanks for that, Monica. It's awesome. So English uses inversion because this language really, this real language really likes to highlight or emphasize certain ideas. Obviously, we do this a lot by manipulating tone or our speed, but adding do in affirmative or negative sentences, but we also use inversion to achieve it structurally and physically. Okay? So we've said this. I was watching your stream 2 weeks ago. I told you that I will do the English exam. Hey! Mike Scar, good job. Well done. You passed your exam. I'm proud of you. Good job. Well done. I hope you celebrated after. That's a big achievement. Well done. Okay. When we move a negative or When we move a negative or limiting expression to the beginning of a sentence, this is called fronting the negative. So we have like words like hardly, rarely, never in the middle of the sentence, and we're going to put them to the front. I call this fronting. So you say never have I, rarely have I, seldom have I. You're putting the negative at the front of the sentence, which kind of triggers your prepares your listener to hear something interesting. Now, give me 1 sec because the TikTok is asking me if I'm a robot. Okay, cool. Awesome, Rita, great to have you. So the grammar changes automatically as a consequence, right? So it falls into line. So we change the negative words, and after that, it's like a trigger. We must change the grammar, the structure. We have to change the position of the subject and the auxiliary verb. Instead of using the normal word order, we invert the subject and the auxiliary verb automatically after we front the negative. It's an automatic step, or a step that must become automatic for language learners. Okay? Laia, that's so sweet. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Okay, it's a communication style It's communication style, yeah, which affects the structure of the sentence. That's what I was calling. It's a style of communicating. Okay, it's a communication style. It's not only the tone that we use to make it sound more dramatic, we also change the structure to achieve the desired dramatic effect. Okay, so examples. Number one, before. So I have never tasted food this good. Would you guys like to try? I think, could you cut this part and share it as short? You're so smart, Rita. I guess I could. I just don't know how to. But I guess I could. I don't know how I can do that, but I can try. I can try. You see, good job, guys. Well done. Yeah. Never have I. Brilliant. Never have I. Well done, Alina. Yeah. It's the most important part. Yes. This is the most important part. Okay. I wish I could make it into a short. So we are always going to use adverbs of frequency or for inversions. It's one of them, Javier. Yes, I'm starting off today with the adverbs of frequency. So you said earlier, never have I ever. Yeah, okay. So never have I tasted food this good. Brilliant, guys. Good job. So what effect does this inversion create? In the first sentence, the listener first learns who is speaking, I, and then discovers the remarkable part of the message, which is never. In the second sentence, the listener learns immediately that this is an exceptional experience. The word never becomes the framework through which the entire sentence is interpreted. It's dramatic because they know this has never happened before, so suspense is created from the get-go. From the get-go, I put it there, it means from the beginning. The speaker is saying the extraordinary part of this sentence is what I want you to process first, the fact that it never happened before. Now, this makes the statement feel more emphatic and more memorable. It's especially used for storytelling. You know, Irish people love telling stories. Inversion never happened in questions, right? We'll get to that now. We'll get to that, Felipe. I'll take a picture of it. I don't want to do any spoilers, okay? But yeah, get going. It just enhances the fact that the guy was only eating junk before. Students, yeah, which again is something that students from C1 level onwards are expected to be able to achieve. B2 students can create well, of course, but when they tell a story, they may not be able to master these nuances which are necessary to achieve the desired dramatic effect. All right, so guys, I think we're going to move on. I'm going to put a line here. I'll put 3 lines. And tomorrow I'm going to come back to this because I think that's enough of that for today. And we can digest this and we can check the rest tomorrow. Okay? Nuances is challenges, yeah. Because I think it's quite a lot. And that was pretty good. Now I have a lot more here, oh my God. But I do have a quiz, which I think we could give it a go. See, I prepared a lot of stuff. Okay? Thanks, Felipe. You too. So, we can try this, right? Transform the sentence using inversion original. I have never encountered such blatant dishonesty. You need to start the sentence with never. Who wants to give it a go? Who wants to try this one? Quiz time. So I have never encountered such blatant dishonesty. Me Marikai thinks, never have I encountered such blatant dishonesty, right? Never have I encountered such blatant dishonesty. You guys got it. Well done. Well done. Number 2. So, she rarely demonstrates such remarkable resilience. And you need to start with rarely. Very good. Yeah. Rarely does she demonstrate such remarkable resilience. Brilliant. Good job, Bartek. Well done. Alina, good job. Me, Marikai. Good job, Cole. Javier, that means a lot. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. I'm sure you're a fantastic teacher too, eh? Cole is my long lost twin, my brother from another mother. No? Okay. Transform the sentence. So, original, they seldom acknowledged their mistakes. They seldom acknowledged their mistakes. We need to start with seldom. They seldom acknowledged their mistakes. Hello, Yuluvi. Oh, Cole and elbow, little mistake. Cole, you forgot the auxiliary verb. Elbow, you forgot to. You got it. Yeah, you got it. Good job. You corrected yourself. Well done. Hello, simple student guide. Good job, Cole. You got it. Yeah. So, seldom did they acknowledge. And because I use did now as the auxiliary, I can't add ed to acknowledge. Brilliant, Alessio. Good job. Well done. Next one. He has never displayed such unwavering determination. We start with never. I've got to write down a question for you guys as well. Okay. So, never has he displayed such unwavering determination. Has he displayed elbow? Alina, good job. Good job, Cole. Unwavering elbow means constant. Yeah, constant. Excellent, guys. Well done. Never has he displayed such unwavering determination. Brilliant. Well done. Next one. Scientists had hardly begun the experiment when the equipment malfunctioned. Scientists had hardly begun the experiment when the equipment malfunctioned. Start with hardly. Scientists had hardly begun the experiment when the equipment malfunctioned. Very good. Yeah. You can say, yeah, very good. Well done, guys. Yeah. Hardly had the scientists begun the experiment when the equipment malfunctioned. Hardly had the scientists. Yeah, in this case. Yeah. Well done. Hardly had scientists. Yeah, I would say the scientists probably. Scientists had hardly begun the experiment. Yeah. Yeah, it actually I will accept that because I didn't put the in this one. So I would accept scientists hardly had scientists begun the experiment when the equipment. Yeah, because I suppose we're speaking about a specific experiment. Hey, Dean. You took the words right out of my mouth. Thank you, teacher. Hey, Nordic, how's it going? I was struggling at the start of the live. Now it's become more easy with attempts. I'm happy, Cole. That's the point. That's the point. This is not, it looks easy, but it is not easy. Okay? It requires a lot of practice, repetition. Hardly had the scientists begun the experiment when the equipment malfunctioned. It trips you up. It absolutely does trip you up. Absolutely. You're not alone. For everybody. And people feel really frustrated because it looks easy, but they keep making mistakes and don't understand, why. Malfunction, yeah, it's not working correctly. Not necessarily broken, but it's not working correctly. Never was she. Okay, so she was never discouraged by the criticism. Never was she discouraged by the criticism. She was resilient. Very good, Cole. Never was she. Yeah, very good, Dean. Yeah, exactly. Never was she discouraged. Discouraged with D. In this case, you have to put ed because we don't have Alina. You have to put ed because we're not using did. We only have to remove it if we're using did. Yeah. Never was she discouraged by the criticism. Very good. Yeah. Never was she discouraged. Yeah. Equipment can malfunction like machinery or headlines. May say wardrobe malfunction for celebrities. I wrote the awesome. Thank you, Alina. Yeah. Yeah. Good job. Never was she discouraged by the criticism. Yeah. Very good. Well done, guys. Never was she discouraged by the criticism. Never was she discouraged by the criticism. Yeah. I think it's a really good point there to put the ed here. Okay, I would like to highlight that one. Now, number 7, the committee rarely reaches a unanimous decision, and we can start with rarely. Hi, Vicky. Hi, S199907. It sounds like you know me. S1997. OMG, Vicky. Do you know me? I do, you do. How do you know me? Good, Alina. Okay. Rarely does the committee reach. Very good, Alina. Alessio, very good. Good, you got it. Yeah, well done. Rarely does call because it's present simple. Rarely does. Good job, me, Marikai. Well done. Super. Rarely does the committee reach a unanimous decision. Okay, brilliant. Next one. We had never witnessed such unprecedented controversy. Yeah, you should never, don't count your eggs before they hatch, Cole. Don't count your eggs before they hatch. We had never witnessed such unprecedented controversy. Never had we witnessed such unprecedented controversy. Mimadikai, Alessio. Had we witnessed? Very good. Good job, Alina. Good job, Cole. Well done. Hey, you were Mountain. Okay. You're in the WhatsApp group, right? Or not? I think you're in the WhatsApp group, no? Ha ha ha. And you're Spanish. I remember now, I know. It's okay. Cool. Good job, guys. Never had we witnessed such unprecedented controversy. Super duper. Second last one. He should, under no circumstances, underestimate the competition. Hello, Luna. Thanks, Cole. Thanks a million. He should, under no circumstances, underestimate the competition. Under no circumstances should he underestimate the competition. Brilliant. Well done. Good job, guys. Is that a hard... Yeah. Should he underestimate? Yeah. Under no circumstances. Good job, Alina. Should he underestimate? Under no circumstances. Should he underestimate? Very good, Alessio. Circumstances. Should he? Not does, me, Madikai, because here we have an auxiliary verb. So if, yeah, should. If we have an auxiliary verb in the original sentence, we stick with that one. And should is a modal, so we can use this as an auxiliary verb. Okay? Super. Awesome. Okay. Answer. Yeah. Number 10. This is the last one. So, they rarely complained about the substantial workload. They rarely complained about the substantial workload. They rarely complained about the substantial workload. Yeah. Good job. Awesome. Me, Marikai, Cole, Alina, Alessio, Monica. Brilliant. You guys got it. Awesome. Rarely did they complain about the substantial workload. Super duper, guys. Well done. So, hey, look, I'll show you what I had this. Look, pique his interest. Pique his interest. So this is what Cole was brought up today. It's so unusual. It was funny you mentioned that. Maybe I said it, did I? Dorina, rarely they complained. Hello, Dorina. It is, the answer is rarely did they complain about the substantial workload. Dorina, if you want to see this class again, it's going to be on YouTube later, okay? So you guys can watch the whole thing on YouTube. because this does require practice and repetition. Okay, you can listen to it in the car on the way to work or whatever. So yeah, rarely did they complain. Not to be confused with the top of a peak. Yeah, exactly, Cole. Yeah. You're so welcome, Dorina. So welcome. We explained it all at the beginning. Okay? Awesome. That's brilliant, guys. Good job. So now, before I answer those extra questions, does anybody have you prepared for the next time? What have you prepared? Hey, me Marikai. So, there's a lot more to do on this point. I don't know if you guys will be totally bored with that, but there is a lot more to get through with inversions. So I was going to work on that, unless you guys are going to be sick of inversions, if it's too much, but I was actually considering to stick with this for a few days. You would be very interested, Monica? Okay. I think it's a good idea because, you know, to try to finish this. Cole is keen too. There's a lot more of this, unfortunately. There's a lot more. Yeah, so that's why I kind of, yeah, there is more. There is more. I had to stop today because I was preparing for hours, and then I said, oh my goodness, I need to start the live. Okay, somebody's ringing to do the speaking. Let's see who it is. I didn't see the name now. Oh, it didn't connect. I don't know why. It didn't connect. Yeah, I'm also eager to, yeah, we'll stick with this so for a few days, okay? And if you don't like it, then it's okay. You don't have to watch it. But I think I'm going to stick with this because it will be really good for my own students as well, you know. My students, my weekly students, they need to work on this, so it's good for them too. Okay, so somebody was called and I answered, but maybe they got shy. No, it's more meme. This is the first step. Tell me my level. Hello, Ian. Perfect. I think this is a great tip. You have got wrong to aim into the exam. Tell me starting the classes. Hey, it depends on the day. Sometimes it's at 4 and sometimes it's at 7. It's the tip of the iceberg. The tip of the iceberg. Okay. So for the speaking, the first question is, tell me about a meal you'll never forget. So it looks like a really easy question, but it would be cool if you would like to try to put in the inversion. So I wrote an example. Look, I said, never have I tasted food. Imagine this is your speaking exam. No? It's okay. Tell me about a meal you'll never forget. You, instead of saying, I will never forget, you can say, never have I tasted food as delicious as the seafood I had in Greece. And it's much more dramatic. Okay? The flavors were incredible, and I've been trying to recreate that meal ever since, for example. Question 2. Tell me about someone you admire because of their resilience. Never tasted food. Yeah, exactly, Gold. That's the first way. My grandmother has always inspired me. Rarely does she complain. So instead of saying she rarely complains, say rarely does she complain. Even when life becomes difficult, she always remains positive and encourages everyone around her. Okay. Question 3. Have you ever had a very surprising experience? Yes. Never had I expected to win the competition. I wanted to change this, actually, we could also say the raffle. When they announced my name, I genuinely thought they had made a mistake. Question 4, describe a situation, there are 5 questions. Describe a situation where 2 things happened almost at the same time. So, hardly had I sat down to watch a film when the electricity went out. There was a blackout. Do you remember a blackout, guys? Fan club. We ended up spending the evening by candlelight instead. Okay. We did blackout, do you remember? And the last question, tell me about a person who almost never gets angry or loses their patience. So my manager is incredibly calm. Rarely does he lose his temper. Even when we're under a lot of pressure, that's one of the reasons why everyone enjoys working with him. Hello, Mr. Foster. Yeah. Okay, so would anybody like to do some speaking? Ian had a good, Ian, if you'd like to call, that's okay too, even if you don't want to practice this. But you guys, would only one person, okay? But if anybody would like to try, hello, Will. Okay, let's talk to Will. Hello, Will.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Where are you from?
Yes, I'm from Ireland.
Oh, far, far away. I'm from Argentine.
Yeah, Argentina.
Yeah?
Yeah, and what time is it there now?
Oh, my goodness, wait. So hold on.
Okay.
10 past 5 p.m.
Okay, 10 past 5 in the evening. So you guys are like
Yeah.
4 hours behind us. 5 hours almost. That's cool. And it's winter down there right now, isn't it?
Oh, yes, for that. Like, I'm so fucking cold.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. So, would you like to try the questions or would you like to chat about something else?
I don't know. I thought that we can read. I don't know what to do. I want to talk because I have to practice my English because it was such a long time that I don't speak with someone.
Okay.
With someone with.
Yeah, that's okay. So are you working in English at the moment?
No, but I would like to.
Okay. And in Argentina, like, is it an advantage to speak English for work or not really at the moment?
Yeah, because if people want to work in another country or online, you can do it. Nowadays, everybody speaks English, but the pronunciation you have to practice. When I started studying English, I was 11 years old, and I finished when I was 17. Nowadays, I'm 34, so it was such a long time ago.
Long time ago since you spoke. Okay, did you go to an international school or how did you?
In Argentine, in the capital city of Argentine, there is a place who is, I don't know how to say in English, but in Spanish is Liceo Cultural Británico, British Cultural School.
Okay.
So I had to give it an oral exam and give it a writing exam as an extraordinary student, not like as pupil, because I only have to pay the exam and give it exam like an irregular student.
Brilliant. Okay, and that was just from, so you were preparing for the exam by yourself or at school?
It was with another person who has studied before, of course, and then she told me the way how to speak English, and she told me how to improve my English for 7 years.
Wow. Okay, so you had private classes with her?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. That's really cool. And then
But in the 4th grade, when you are a teenage, you have to speak as an adult because you have structures and adverbs of frequency. And in Spanish, we speak so badly, so bad. We speak all the time in past simple. All the time in Spanish is past simple. We don't use present perfect, past participle. We don't use like that. So for a teenage boy, it was so difficult to figure out how to struggle that situation when someone say, she told me that, she asked me that, and all the present tense. Oh my God, it was sick.
You're totally right, because I've noticed that myself. In America, they don't use the present perfect in English in the USA. They don't use the present perfect. So when teachers come from America to teach in Europe, they have tremendous difficulty because obviously in Europe we use the present tense a lot. But then I discovered in South America, you guys in Spanish don't use the present perfect either. So it's true.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't know where the
In Argentine, we speak bad Spanish.
Do you think so?
We don't speak. Yeah, because we don't speak like the other people who speak Spanish, like Spain guys, Mexican guys. We speak badly because all the time is short contractions and all the time in past.
Wow.
Like I went, I paid, that's all. Yesterday I did. Yesterday I went, like that, so badly.
Wow.
So what do you want to ask?
I have one. When you say the Argentina, you can say Argentina.
Argentina.
Yeah.
Argentina.
Like Gen Z, Argentina.
Yeah, Argentine or Argentina.
Can you? But Argentine. Are you like? It's not the country is Argentina, right?
Argentina. Yeah.
Yeah.
And an Argentine.
Argentine. You don't say Argentinian.
No, we don't say. We say Argentine.
Okay.
So Argentina is the same because other people say Argentina with a G so softly. So it's like, it's okay, both, I guess.
Yeah. So you said it was really, really cold. What temperature is it there?
Oh, we have Celsius over here. I don't know if you use Fahrenheit.
Are you Celsius?
30 Celsius.
30?
It's cold.
30? 30?
30. No, 13.
13. Okay. During the day?
During the day, no. In the middle of the day, at the mid-time. I don't know how to say the mediodía because I forgot. Sorry.
Midday. You can say midday.
At the midday?
Yeah.
It's like that. And then it goes down and down and down. 6, 4, 2. It's not 2 yet, but 4, 6, it's cold.
Oh, Jeannie Mac. Yeah, because you're in the middle of winter now, right? Because it's, the end of July, you literally, the coldest month is now, right?
Have you ever been here?
I have, actually, but too short of a period. I went to Los Fosos de Iguazu.
Yeah, Misiones, at the north of the country.
It's in the south, isn't it? Is it not in the south? It's in the north. I'm trying to think of the map. Maybe the north, to the waterfalls.
Yeah, it's one of the maravillas del mundo.
Yes, exactly. One of the wonders of the world. Yeah, I was there. It was awesome. It was really, really cool. I was working in Paraguay. And we had a weekend and we took the bus to Argentina to visit the waterfalls.
You have to come to Buenos Aires.
Yeah.
You love it.
Yes. I have quite a few. I have a lot of Argentinian students and they're fantastic, you know. Do you know, there is a study that says people from Argentina are the most open people in the world.
Really? For sure?
Yeah, that they, like, you know, when you meet a stranger, there's a certain distance that you feel comfortable with, and if they come inside that distance, you start to feel uncomfortable. So, for example, in Saudi Arabia, it's 2 meters. So if you don't know the person, they should stay at least 2 meters away from you. When the person comes within 2 meters, you start to feel a bit uncomfortable.
Oh my God, that's cheaper.
But in Argentina, this distance is like 1 meter or like 90 centimeters or something. And then...
Yeah, we walk all the time and we want to get comfortable with the people.
Yeah, they're really, really, really kind and open and stuff, yeah. Were you here for the grammar today? Did you learn the grammar that we were working on?
I'm sorry because the internet have interrupted your speaking. Can you repeat, please?
The question can you see the screen while we're speaking?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, like, the first question is, tell me about a meal you'll never forget. And if you can start with this. Never have I tasted food as delicious as. If you can.
When you started to speak the internet card, I say, tell me about the meal you never forget. Example, never have I tasted food as delicious as my granny.
Yes! As my granny's food. Oh,
Yeah.
that's really cool. Okay.
My granny's meal was delicious, was beautiful. I remember her with a beautiful moment. She always cooked very quickly.
Yes, okay, that's so awesome. That's really, really cool. Okay. What kind of things did she make? I'm curious now. What type of meals?
Here in Argentine, we say milanesa. It's kind of a sort of meal. I don't know how to say carne in English. I forgot my bad.
Meat.
Steaks.
Meat.
Yeah. It's like kind of sort of meat with bread, and then can be on the oil or can be on el horno. Forgot the horno. How to say horno? Oven. Yeah. And with pay-bread.
Ah, look, maybe we can show a photo. Is it?
Milanesa con papas fritas.
Yes, like this, no? This one?
Sí, yeah.
Okay, very good. Nice. Okay. So the next question is, tell me about someone you admire because of their resilience. And you can try to use, if you can, rarely does she.
I forgot the meaning of resilient in Spanish.
Rarely is casi nunca in Spanish. So, casi nunca. Ella casi nunca se queja. Ella casi nunca se queja.
Okay. My mama always inspired me because she almost died 2 years ago because she had I don't know how to say in the brain when have a HCV, vascular cardiac.
Ictus or something?
When someone has I don't know how to say because it's medicine in English in the brain when the brain is about to have ¿cómo se dice? Accidente vascular, pero sería un ACV, ACV.
Aneurysm? Is it an aneurysm?
Kind of. Yes, kind of, but it's not an aneurysm. It's A, C, and W, B. B, only B.
Like
And
this?
B. No, the other B.
V.
Yeah, without only one B.
Oh, W.
No.
No.
One B. I forgot, sorry.
ACV.
The other B.
V?
Yeah, in Spanish, is when someone have an accident on your brain. It's all caused from the kind of aneurysm, but it's not aneurysm. So she passed through the way. Of course, thanks God she's alive. But she really wasn't complaining of anything. She said that the life is alive and you have to be patient and enjoy the moment, every single moment.
Yeah.
And be grateful and thankful because you don't know how when the doctor tells you, okay, madam, enjoy the life because your heart might be a bomb.
Yeah. That's an amazing story. That's really, really cool. Yeah. So rarely does she complain. Rarely is she negative. No, so she's always positive. That's so cool. Yeah. It's nice when we have a family member who inspires us, isn't it?
Yeah, she inspired us to keep enjoying the life because in Argentina it's so difficult. If you know the war information is kind of difficult situation of economy, the lifestyle. So we have to, in Argentina, it is say that the people from lives in Argentina is like compare with another countries in Latin America, of course, but they always are in crisis, economical crisis
Crisis.
situation, crisis. So we always put a good face and keep going, keep going. We have to keep going and with a good big smile. And meanwhile, we are fighting for our money.
Yeah, fighting for our rights. That's awesome. So you guys are really positive.
Trying.
It's really, yeah,
We're
it's
trying.
really cool. It's really cool. Okay. So next one is, have you ever had a very surprising experience? And if you like you could say, never had I expected something. If you want to try that.
Okay. Yes, never have expected to meet Lali Esposito, who is a singer from here from Argentine.
Okay.
So I can do the lyrics in Spanish, in English. It kind of be similar. So when I saw her on the TV, because we were in a program, they're making a program. So I screamed to her, Lali, and she said, what? And with my big loud voice, I said, I will see you on your concert. Oh, well, and I will work for you. And she said, wait, how will we work together? Because I can do it. I can write lyrics. I can edit videos, images. And I made one song of you in English. And I said, okay. Well, my friends have met you, but I haven't. And we didn't even have a chance to take a picture. So I say, you did create it. You realize it and you did it. So now when we finish to roll, will you come back here and take a picture? And I sang to her a lyric, she speaks in Spanish. When I sang to her in English, her own lyrics, and she said to me, how is current to you? Because it's easy. But she said, I am not a good speaker in English. She's personally very good with Kylie Minogue.
Oh my goodness.
She sang Padam and the other song Can't Get You Out of My Head. She sang with her on River Stadium in Argentine. So Kylie Minogue came to here only for Lali Esposito. So it was like I never had expected to meet her.
That's amazing. That's really cool. And can you write lyrics? And
because for example, in Spanish, if you know some word in Spanish, there was a song like it says, "No hay nadie como tú."
Yeah.
It means like there's no one like you.
Mm-hmm.
So the rhythm was like, "No hay nadie como tú."
Mm-hmm.
No. And so I say to her, "There's no one no one knows you like I do." It's like similar. I can do it. So I will work with artists.
That's amazing.
Lyrics, I can't sing, but I can write good lyrics so people can connect with history.
That's amazing. There's another student I think he's gone now, but another student who participates here regularly, Rita, and he's also he also sings and writes lyrics. So it's amazing.
Really?
Yeah. He sent me some of his lyrics and they were really, 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 really beautiful. Beautiful and very deep also.
If you want to, I can read it a little short part.
Okay, yeah, you can send me.
If you want to.
Yeah, you can read us here. Okay, he's listening. Okay, I thought you were gone. Okay.
Okay.
So
The song is like, there's a chemical you place. I love the new games. Chemical of the chess. There is two of us playing this big mess. Now you're losing on your game now, and no one knows you like I do. I can give you the strength. I gave you more pleasure.
That's really good.
Because no one knows you like I do. I can give you the strength. You gave me your pleasure. Then in Spanish, she speaks so fast in the way that I sang with the song in Spanish. So I will work with an artist. Translate them, make them international.
So this is why it's really good. It's really good for you. Yeah, maybe you can work together with Rita. He's in the chat there. So in that case, it's really good for you to improve your English because you would like to write your songs in English.
Yeah, it is because I don't know how to say, but when I was a teenager, I wasn't thinking in Spanish. I don't speak in Spanish. I don't think in Spanish in my mind.
Only in English.
No, I don't know, because maybe in another life I was in my native language English.
Maybe. Like, I think so, probably. I believe in that totally. You know, I had, you remind me of a story. When I was doing my teaching practice, I had a student, he was maybe in his 70s, and he had a stroke, un ictus. And he knew how to speak English before the stroke, and he forgot. His brain was damaged. So when he was recovering in the classes, he wasn't learning English for the first time. He was just getting back access to that part of his brain. Yeah, are we frozen? Oh, you're there. Yeah, and he remembered the English really fast.
Yeah, no, I'm here.
You're here. So it was a really incredible experience. So I think so. I think we are multi-dimensional beings, you know. So who knows in a past life?
Because I think I agree with you, because when I was a teenager, there was a period of time, because I told you in Spanish we speak so bad. There was a click. My tongue, I realized how to put my tongue to speak like that. And people, when I start to speak like that, people think that I'm not from Argentine. And they told me, where you come from? I say, I'm from Argentine. But your pronunciation is totally different. I don't know. It was a click.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, probably in a recent life you were in an English-speaking country, you know? It's so interesting. We should study this. Okay. Let's look at the next one, right? It says, describe a situation where two things happened at the same time. And my example was, hardly had I sat down to watch a film when the electricity went out.
Oh my God, it was kind of difficult because I haven't made that example. Hardly had I.
Yeah.
Can I pass?
Yeah.
I don't know how to say two situation, because I've learned, like, when I was working, the light turned off. It's so simple, but hardly I had the chance to get home when the lights went off.
You could say, hardly had I got home when my boss called me. You could say, look. Hardly had I arrived home when my boss called me to come back to the office. No, for an urgent meeting.
Well, I forgot the hardly. Oh my goodness, I was so...
That's okay, it's okay. That's why we're here. It's all right. And the last one is, tell me about a person who almost never gets angry or loses their patience. And you can use this structure. Rarely does he lose his temper, for example.
My best friend is a fairly calm person. She really does she lose her temper when all the people start to ask the same question in several times. If she been asked the same question in several times, she gets angry.
She gets angry or she doesn't get angry?
She gets.
She gets angry if several people ask the same question. Say, no, okay. Is she a teacher?
No, she's my best friend and she's a good temper of sense. But when someone asks the same question and she has answering you back, she gets angry because I told you, I had answered you. Stop asking. It's like, come on.
Pay attention. Get with the program, please. Okay. So that was awesome. Very well done. It was great to have you. Your English is, even in the short conversation, I think you're a little bit more fluent now. So maybe you're just you haven't spoken with anybody in a while, right?
Yeah, I haven't. That's the reason why I realized that in TikTok you can do this. I say, oh my gosh, I need to practice because
Yes.
I need it because I can't listen all the time English music. Or now I was watching small bit in English with in Spanish subtitles, but for the phonetic and for trying to not reading the subtitle and trying to get it because I miss someone talking in English.
I totally agree with you. I think it's like going to the gym. Like when we read and we study the theory, it's true, but we're like looking about how to lift the weight, but at the end of the day, to get muscle, you actually need to grab the weight and start doing the repetition. And I think it's the same with languages. For me, for you, for anybody, we have to actually physically speak, to somebody.
Yes, because for a good pronunciation, the tongue is so important. The tongue, the way we put the tongue on the top of the mouth or the back of the mouth, I can check the pronunciation if I put like that. But when I have listened to a lot of Miley Cyrus interview or Britney Spears interview, I've lost my British accent. My teacher told me, "Oh my goodness, you speak like an American." I say, "I've lost it. I'm lost it." It was Miley Cyrus interview. She speak over like that.
That's really good. You remind me now about, oh yes, when I was studying Spanish, I started watching Spanish series, and I watched a series from Colombia, and the series was about narco trafficking. Okay.
Yes.
What's that? It was called, it was a very bad name. It was like Sin Tetas No Hay Paraíso or something like this. Do you know?
Without boobies, there's no.
So, but I picked it because it was a really long series, and I thought, okay, I will expose myself to the Colombian accent. But of course, everybody was speaking like with a very bad language. So, very bad language, like te mato, tío, oh, tú eres un tapo, like totally crazy stuff. And I start my internal dialogue. I started speaking to myself like a drug dealer.
When you are listening from Latin America or Central America series or movies or whatever, or Spain, I think in Spain, but you will learn the real English, the real Spanish, sorry, because they pronounce the way that it sounds. The R is like soft. The double L is like lluvia, like rain, lluvia. But in Spanish, our Spanish in Argentina, is totally different. It's not like we want to be unique. No. We speak bad. We really pronounce bad. For example, we say, "Sin tetas no hay paraíso." Or we don't say lluvia, we say lluvia. Está lloviendo. Vení para acá. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Todo bien vos? ¿Todo tranqui? Me alegro. ¿Cómo te sentís vos al respecto? And then it's totally different, the pronunciation. It's like totally different. We speak badly.
It sounds really nice to me though. You remind me of my students from Argentina, and one of my best friends is from Uruguay. And his accent is nice. And Mexico, for me, the Mexicans are my favorite people ever.
I love and the Colombia.
Yeah, totally.
Oh my God.
Totally.
The Colombian are truly softly.
Yeah. So I think it's good. Different accents, and we can appreciate everybody. And definitely studying different accents, you can decide then which you prefer, which vocabulary, which way of speaking. But
well, with you, it reminds me my British accent.
Yeah,
it reminds me because they're mixed up with American. Because I told you before, Miley, she speaks totally different. Britney, she speaks totally different. Her interviews are like too American, so I lost my British accent. I used to like speak like that because we had to give an exam, our exam, and I realized that I used to watch Harry Potter. Where are you from, Harry Potter? May I help you, sir? Why did you manage to do that? It's like that. I used to speak like that, but I lost it.
Yeah, I think as well, it depends how much we are influenced. Like, I'm definitely like you. I think we can pick up different sounds very easily. Some other people are not like that. They will maintain their accent by hook or by crook. They will maintain one accent, you know. But definitely some people can change. If I went back to Mexico for a year, for sure my Spanish would change and sound a bit more Mexican than Castellano.
Yeah, her Spanish, their Spanish is so lovely. They speak like, la neta,
Yeah.
sí que puedes.
Yeah. No, it's very beautiful. Those people have such a big heart, you know, really, really. I worked there years ago, and I still have very dear friends there. So there are people like, if you are their friend, they are your friend for life, you know?
Forever, for the
Yeah.
rest of the life.
Forever.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think that the people who, like you, and because of your work, you have studied and have worked so hard, you have the opportunity to travel around the world and meet some beautiful people. That's amazing because you mean that you are not unique and you are not alone. You can enjoy different culture, different personality, because I can imagine the way that you say that the people are not, I don't know how to say, charming or lovely, because when we see each other or we met each other, as we were talking right now, no? If you are here in front of me in Argentine and we're speaking like that, so softly, kindly, we started like, oh, madam, I like you. You're a great girl. So let's have fun together. Let's have it out. Let's have a coffee. And I can imagine that there is another country that you can't speak like that because they say, I don't know you. Get out of my way.
Totally.
It's
Totally. Yeah. It's really, really interesting that I love your point, and I love that you're aware of this. It's so true. Yeah, and I couldn't imagine living permanently in a country that treats people like that. You know, I think it's a totally different perspective on life altogether than what I prefer what we have, to be open and to be kind and to be open to making new friends.
Yes, we always have to. We really have to take care of ourselves because we don't know they're truly deeply the person, but because when you are in another country, you have to take care of your own self. Furthermore, there is insecurities of all we have, so always we have to be a good person and treat the people well as we want to be treated, but they don't have to know that you are insecure or having a little of scare of the person, because if they know that, sometimes they can approve that in its own, I don't know how to say.
Aprovechar.
Te lo digo en español. Yeah.
Take advantage.
Ellos lo pueden aprovechar.
Yeah,
take advantage of that, or it can be hurt of them.
You know, I suppose there are different phases to a friendship. You know, at the start, of course, as an adult, you have to get to know people, but you can be open and then make friends. And I think to be friends requires, I think there's like 200 hours or something with a person. Maybe it's like 200 hours. So you don't have to tell everybody everything about your life in the first 25 hours that you meet them. You know, you can get to know people with time. But yeah, it's really good. We're a lot of good things now today. So thank you so much for participating. It was so nice to speak with you. Okay, so I better say goodbye now, because we've been on now for a few hours. And thank you so much for participating, and we'll speak again soon, okay?
Okay, thank you so much for being kind and for talking with me.
You're so
It was so good. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, madam.
Yeah, I had a great time. Thank you for calling, okay? Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Oh, that was awesome. What a lovely chat. Really, really nice. Really, really good vibes. And I think, I hope you guys learned something about Argentina. I definitely learned a lot of new things. And it's so lovely to speak to such a nice person and have a chat, practice our English. That was awesome. Really, 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 really nice. Okay, so before we finish up, guys, I have a few questions to answer from you guys that you sent me. First of all, the people who are still here, we've been here now for 2 hours. Did you find that interesting? Like with the grammar? Oh, Will, awesome. We'll keep in touch, okay? We'll keep in touch. So this has been like the first grammar class that we've done. So I hope you guys liked it. I hope it was useful. We'll be back with more tomorrow. I'm going to maybe focus on this point for the next couple of days. Okay? But yeah, let me know if you liked the grammar class. Then we've got some questions. Yes, so Mr. Foster, if you're still there, he asked, do we put had after never in inversion? That's an option. I mean, it depends on the sentence, but never had I ever is an option. But you can also say never was I ever. Hello, Mr. Foster. Oh, that's awesome. I'm so glad. So, it doesn't always have to be never had. You can use other things. You can say never was I ever, never was she ever, okay? Never were they ever, never have I ever, never have I seen. Alessio, hello. I'm glad. Okay, cool. If you guys like it, then we can continue and see how it goes. We can mix around between grammar and vocab. But maybe this week I'm going to continue on the grammar train. Tomorrow we'll continue with inversions. And if anybody missed the beginning of the class, I'll put it up on YouTube so you can check it, okay? So that was one question. Then the next question is Javier. Javier is a teacher. I don't know if you're still there, Javier. He's asking, do we always use adverbs of frequency for inversions? There are more options. Look, I've got pages of stuff to do here. There are more. We'll get onto this tomorrow. Adverbs of frequency is one option. Okay? Inversion never happened in questions. We'll check that tomorrow. Okay? Felipe. And is there another question here? Okay, I can't remember now who said this one because I've actually cut it out of the picture. But it says, what's the best way to remember words? I have been struggling lately, but it was Bartek. Lately, not to forget posh words. Okay. The problem with, do you already know what time is the live tomorrow? The live tomorrow is going to be earlier because tomorrow I'm working a lot in the evening. So tomorrow I have, it's going to be either at 1:30 or at 4:30. I'm not sure yet because then between 6 and 9 I have classes, Alessio, is the issue. So it's going to be either 1:30 or 4:30. Yeah. I'm not sure yet. One of those tomorrow. Okay? But I will record it. My goodness, where's my question gone from Bartek? Oh yeah. So remembering words, the problem with posh words is that we don't use them enough. Okay, Bartek? The key to remembering any word is that you need to use it as many times as you possibly can. So, just learning a word once and never using it, it's going to be difficult to remember, and you don't hear it as much in series, in conversation, because other people don't use posh words or good quality, which is a mistake. We should, but we don't. You need to be exposed to words to remember them. So my advice is to try to use them in your conversation as much as you can. And then watch TV, but like watch not cop series, watch something like Downton Abbey, Bridgerton, period dramas like Pride and Prejudice, where they're using good quality vocabulary. You have to put yourself in those environments, Dean, exactly, or create them artificially for yourself, because you need to hear something many times. Depends on the person. For some people, it might be hearing a word 20 times. Another person might need to hear a word 50 times, but you need to expose yourself. Javier, how can I explain this topic to my students? I mean, when do I use inversions? Javier, you're a teacher, so you definitely have to, in my opinion, you have to break this down the way that we're doing it now. You have to go step by step. So today we spoke a lot about the verb to be. That's one point. And we also looked at the adverbs of frequency and then lots of examples. And when your students are happy with that information, you can add the next part. That's what I would do anyway. Now, have I answered everybody's question? Let me just make sure I answered everybody. I think I did. I think I've answered any. If anybody else has a question, you can throw it in the chat. We've been here for a while because we were talking for a good bit with Will, but that's okay. Yeah, I think I've answered. Okay, Cole, will we rotate between grammar and the other lives? I'm open to feedback. So whatever you guys are more interested in, if you want more grammar or more of the other content. Dean, I strongly recommend this guy on Instagram. That's really sweet, Dean. That's awesome. That's really cool. Okay, that's really cool. Thanks for that. And that's all, I think. How often is this type of sentence used in speaking? Often or in everyday English? It depends who you're speaking to, Felipe. If you're speaking to people who speak English well, they're going to use this. Mr. Foster, more advanced grammar, please. Awesome. Noted. I get the feeling a lot of people are interested in more advanced grammar. That's okay. We can do that. And you can send me a DM as well. Say, Vicky, I really want you to speak about conditionals. I know that Meme today mentioned conditionals a few times, so I feel like people would be interested in some conditionals classes. And then yeah, I think I've answered all the questions. Okay, Ayat, you asked, my pronunciation is not good. I can't read fluently. What should I do? You need to practice. Not only is really popular, Dean, yeah. You need to practice, like the same as what Will was saying during the speaking, and I mentioned about the exercise. Absolutely, Dean, not only, for sure. You need to physically speak. I know that it can be intimidating depending on the situation, depending on your audience, but you definitely do need to physically speak. And with pronunciation, like if you're with people who will correct you and help you, is the best way to improve your pronunciation. And me, Malik, I mentioned also listening to songs, singing along with songs. I totally agree with him, yeah. Singing along with songs is another really good way to improve your pronunciation. And you can do that alone in the car, so you don't have to be worried about somebody listening to you. And then, let me see. Okay, yeah, I've got them all. I've answered all the questions. That's super. Alessio, your aim is to bring students from B2 to C1, is it? Yeah, Alessio, more or less. And plus C1 plus also. But yeah, actually this is for C1, really. But I think it can also be for bringing B2 to C1. If it's a good B2 student, yes. Can we have a little chat tomorrow during the live? Hey, Dean. Yeah, of course. Anybody. The first person who would like to call, anyone can participate. Tony, you're more than welcome, for sure. If when I mention, okay guys, it's the time for speaking, you can call and I will answer, and we can chat as much as you like. Okay, that would be really cool. It's a pleasure. Be great to talk to you. Okay, awesome guys. Thanks so much for joining. We've done, I didn't expect, we've done 2 hours now again tonight. It was really busy. Super duper. Okay, so I'm going to wish you good night. All right, I hope you have a lovely weekend, and I hope you all have a great start to the week tomorrow. Okay, thanks a million guys, and see you during the week. Okay, take care everybody. Good night, Alina. Good night, Dean. Night, Mr. Foster. Bye, Alessio. Take care. Bye, guys. Thanks so much.